We're going to start with some deep breaths, imagining that you're breathing ocean air. I'll bring as much of the island vibe to you as I possibly can. And so once you find your seat, just clear the flesh out from under you. I'm going to see if I remember how to teach yoga. It's been a minute. Start to breathe in and out through your nose. And just notice the softness of those first few breaths in and out. Let that softness make its way into your throat, your chest, your belly. And begin to just let your body relax with breath. Let breath do its job. Let breath do what we came here to do, which is get out of our heads and into our bodies. Work out some of the kinks and just be present to this glorious moment exactly as it is wherever you are. Pull your shoulders up by your ears, give a squeeze, and then press them back and down. And we'll do that a few times. Just nice, easy shoulder rolls. See if there's anything going on up there around your neck or your shoulders that needs some attention. And then start to alternate one shoulder at a time. You're making a little figure 8 with your shoulders up and back. And then release that, let your shoulders drop back down. Bring one hand to your belly now so that you can consciously breathe into your belly, a belly breath. See if you can feel that belly expanding out into your hand as you breathe in and pulling in as you breathe out, which might feel strange. Belly comes in as you breathe out. Breath in, belly goes out. Breath out, belly goes in. Keep that belly breath going. Let your fingertips come to the floor on either side of you and walk your hands back a little bit. Come on to fingertips so you can feel your chest lifting. Take a breath here. I think if the internet is spotty, it will jump back on. So be patient if it kind of bounces in and out. Come back to center, arms reach high, interlace your fingers, press your palms to the ceiling or sky, and stretch your side bodies longer. Create some traction here, so press down through your sitting bones and up through your hands so you feel space between the vertebrae. Going for space here, arms are back just a little bit farther, stretch and lengthen. And then release your palms down, bring them to the back of the head. Use your head to press your hands back even more. Elbows wide, chest lifted. Breathe here. Exaggerate a breath, like you haven't taken a deep breath for a while. Exaggerate, like luxuriate in this breath. And then keep all of that lifted feeling as you settle again your hands to your legs. And now breathe and see if there's a little more space to breathe into. Taking your time, go ahead and lower yourself down onto your back. I'm going to do a couple stretches here lying on our backs. I'll let some more people into the room. Kim's here. Everybody say hi, Kim. Once you get down on your back, hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. And maybe a little bit of movement here if you feel like moving side to side, corner to corner, to give yourself a little massage across your low back. If your low back's been a little tight lately, maybe it's a happy baby pulling down and pressing your hips to the earth. Just kind of see what feels good here as you find your way into your body. Continuing that deep breath in, which is now probably pushing into your thighs as your belly lifts. Allow your feet to come to the floor. Let your arms rest by your sides and come up into an easy bridge. Just the opposite of what we've just been doing. Hips lifted, shoulders open, press through your feet. Take in a breath of joy. Let's use that word, a joyful breath that fills your body. What's it like to breathe in a sense of joy? Pressing into your feet even more. See if you can create a little more space and traction. And then release your hips back to the earth. Let your arms come out wider, almost into a T. Toes touching the edge of your mat, and start to windshield wiper your legs. Just moving legs from side to side. Take your time as one knee dips open, the other dips in, and feel the difference. And as the legs go over to the left, let's pause for a gentle twist. Head turns to the right. And again, a breath of joy. Bring in a joyful breath that fills your whole body. And returning to center, switch that. Knees drop to the right. Feet stay wide and head turns to the left. Notice the way the earth is holding you. So as you exhale, just let your body rest on the floor. Try not to hold anything here. And then from here, we're just going to let ourselves roll over onto our side, back up to a seat. Finding an easy seat. And again, arms overhead, looking for space in the spine. Take one arm up and over, and then the other, just like you're trying to put an inch between each vertebra. Beautiful. And then again, the arms come down to the sides. We'll do one more breath practice here before we turn around into our front side. So take a breath in for 3 counts, hold 3 counts, and breathe out 4. So it's 3, 3, 4, and you're on your own count. Inhale 3, hold 3, and exhale 4. And we'll do a few rounds of that. I'd like you to continue that as we come around into child's pose. So the idea is an exhale that's a little longer than the inhale. So coming into child's pose in any way that feels good to you, knees together or out wide. See if you can find a way to rest your head on the earth. Settle in here, 3 count in breath. Belly expands, hold the breath for 3, and then exhale 4. Belly hugs in. 3, 3, 4. Walk your hands to the right side of your mat and place your left hand on top of your right hand. So left hand on top of right, and then pull your hips back to the left, creating traction, space in the left side of your body. Taking in a joyful breath. A breath that holds no tension, no strain, no stress, just an ease and joy. And keep your left hand now on the ground right where it is. So the left hand is across on this diagonal. Bring your right hand to your side and push with your right hand so you're coming into a little bit of a twist. Your left armpit is dropping a little closer to the ground. You're on your right fingertips, kind of pushing your back into this gentle twist. And as we return to center, both arms extend long. Just notice your left side and your right side. Put any padding under your knees that you need. And now bring your left hand to the left side of your mat, right hand on top of left. So reaching hands to the left and pull hips to the right. You can really exaggerate that pull, anchoring with your hands, breathing into the right side of your body. Three counts in, 3 counts hold, 4 counts out. Allow your right hand to come to the ground, tent your left fingers, and now twist toward the left side. So you're dropping that right armpit a little closer to the ground, looking up over your left shoulder. Find some breath here. As we find our way back to center, rock yourself up to a tabletop, pat under your knees as you need, and start to move your spine through cat and cow. And if there's another way that you like to move your spine, you can do that as well. Sideways, in a little circle. Just warming up the spine and noticing where tension lives. And then find a neutral spine, head faces, eyes face straight to the ground. We're going to tuck our toes and then just lift your knees 1 inch so your shins are parallel to your mat. So there's a little bit of work going on here. Engage by pressing down through the palms of your hands, opening your shoulder blades. And now in slow motion, lift your hips into downward facing dog. And find down dog. Pedaling your heels, one big bend in one knee and then the other. Let your low belly be firm and lift your tailbone. And just breathe here, head hanging down between your arms, hips lifting high. Bend and straighten your knees a couple more times and then find stillness in this pose. See if you can find some space here. 3 counts, and 4. You might even notice yourself sighing as you exhale. When you complete one more round of 3, 3, 4 breaths, slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands. Let's come here with feet hips distance, hands on elbows, coming into ragdoll. Knees are bent, so you feel your belly laying down on your legs. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Take a few deep breaths here. Beautiful, everybody. Breath in and breath out. 3, 3, 4. We start to move with our breath. So putting a bend in the knees, press hands to shins, lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. Shoulders pull back. Inhale the arms all the way up overhead. Come into a back bend. And bend your knees deeply. Scoop down. Fingertips cross the floor. Reach behind you. Interlace. Head to the ground. Let's do that again. Press hands to shins. Lift halfway. Let that set you up to lift all the way up and back. And then the knees bend and we sweep behind. Interlace the fingers. Drop the head. We'll go one more time. Bend the knees. Press into the shins. Lengthen and lift halfway. Scoop all the way up and back. Find that space. And then bend the knees deeply, come forward, interlace, knuckles high, head low. Pause here. Take a few upside down breaths. We'll release our fingers to the ground. Let's press halfway again. And then bring your hands to your hips as a reminder to always lift from the hips, not the spine. And come into Tadasana, mountain pose, feet hips distance apart. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Move from your hips. Press to lift halfway. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Shifting forward into plank pose. Hold right here for a couple of breaths. Press hands into the earth. Open your shoulder blades. Find your strength in your plank. Pick up your right foot and just tuck that knee in towards your nose, and we'll alternate that a couple of times. Just finding core, building a little bit of heat in the body. And finding a strong plank again, drop your knees. Spin your elbows so that they point straight back and lower down onto your belly. I'm going to pause right here for a few breaths. So with eyes looking down, bring your fingertips tented off the edge of your mat. And we're just going to lift and lower here a few times. Lift as high as you comfortably can and back down. Just getting the spine used to this back bending action. Finding space for breath. The next time you come up, pause at a place that feels comfortable, not painful. Hold and breathe. 3, 3, 4. Lower yourself back down to your mat. Hands come by your shoulders. Lift your chest And then either stay here in cobra or press into your hands, tops of feet, come to upward facing dog. Both are great options. Beautiful. And from wherever you are, tuck your toes, lift from your belly into downward facing dog. Once again, pedal the heels, bend the knees. Do what feels good to your body. And looking forward, step or hop your feet to your hands. Let's press halfway and fold ourselves in half. Catch the backs of your heels, give a little more pull. Knees can be really bent. Soften the knees even more. Arms reach high, extended mountain. Catch one wrist for a side bend. And up and switch. Steady breath. Reach your hands high and then draw your hands back to your heart with a long exhale. Notice body, notice breath. I'm going to flow through 2 sun salutations without stopping. So each movement gets its own breath and options are available, right? So inhale, arms high. Swan dive, exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shifting forward, plank pose, knees or toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Come up to either cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to your toes and exhale, press your heels back down. Do that 2 more times. Get to the feet. Yoga for the whole body. Can't leave the toes out. And then looking forward, step your feet to your hands, lift halfway, and fold deeper, grabbing the heels, soften the knees, pull down. Spine is long, more than round. And with a bend in the knees, scoop the arms high, extended mountain, maybe a little back bend. And bring your hands to your heart. Notice body, notice breath. Let's go one more time, warming up the body. Arms reach high, sun A. Joyful breath, forward fold. Half lift to downward facing dog. And shifting into plank, knees or toes, lower, halfway down, chaturanga. Pull through to cobra or up dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Toes and heels, 3 breaths. Looking forward, step the feet to meet the hands. Press to half lift and exhale, forward fold. The generous bend in the knees, arms reach high, come back, stand into that back bend. And from the back bend, friends, cactus your arms, open up your chest. Breathe here, a joyful breath. A complete breath. And then gather hands into the heart. Pause here, notice body, notice breath, notice heartbeat. With your feet a little closer together, come down into chair pose and bring your hands to heart center in prayer. We're going to move into a twisting chair. So one option that's really nice, especially Ron, if you're feeling some pain in your back, is to use hands instead of elbows. So one hand across to the right hand to the left knee and left hand on the low back. That's a nice twist. To take it a step further, hands up heart center, you can hook right elbow, left knee. Maybe try both and see what your body wants today. But see about that 3-3-4 breath here. Notice what that's like to hold your breath for a moment in these poses, allowing for that longer exhale. Really good options, everybody. Come back to center. Let yourself fold in half, but keep your back long. Keep that long spine like a half lift. And then bend the knees again. Hands come to heart center, either left hand to right knee and right hand on the back, or left elbow to right knee. Two great options. Find a 3-3-4 breath. And as we come back to center, fingertips to the floor, straighten the legs a little, lengthen the spine, and exhale, forward fold. Put a bend in the knees, scoop the arms high, move slowly, extended mountain. Arms reach back a little. And let's dive down again. Move from the hips. Inhale, arms high, find that little back bend. Swan dive down. Two more times. Movement with breath, keeping the body warm. And this time we'll plant our hands on the floor and step back into downward facing dog. You have the option to take a vinyasa if you'd like, move through that flow of plank and chaturanga. It's always nice to throw in a little bit of extra. We're going to raise our right leg high. Circle the ankle, wiggle your toes, bend the knee if you like, open up the hip. Just a little bit of movement here in your three-legged dog. And then go ahead and step that foot to the top of your mat using any assistance that helps you. And we're going to drop the back knee to the mat. And so you might want a little bit of padding underneath your knee. I'm going to do a little hip opening sequence here that might feel pretty good. So bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. It's kind of like lizard pose. But then turn your back foot so that your back shin is kind of on the ground. All right, so that back foot kicks behind you, so to speak. And we're here on the inside of this right foot. And then bring your hand to your hip. This feels a little bit to me like side angle pose with the knee on the ground. Should be feeling something stretching in this outer rib cage, outer side body, and then also your inner thigh of your front knee. And let's come back to center. Turn your body again. We'll tuck the back toes and lift the knee off the ground, coming into low lunge. Just see if that helped that hip flexor open at all. And then drop your back heel. Come on up into high lunge. Just paying attention to this, the front of that back leg. In your warrior one, cactus your arms, open your chest. And once again, we'll interlace those fingers back of the head and press. Strong in your back foot. There's equal weight, right and left. And then reach those fingers high. Let the hands come down to the floor and shift again into downward facing dog, where you're welcome to stay or flow through vinyasa. Always decide if you want a little more or a little less. And then when you're ready, raise your left leg. Start to put some movement into your toes, your ankle, your knee, and your hip. And then guide that foot to the top of your mat. And we'll drop our back knee, so kneeling lunge. And you might be able to see this a little better on this side. We're going to bring our hands to the inside of our left foot and then kick that foot backwards. So you're kind of sideways on that back leg. Left hand is down on the floor, and then just bring your hand to your waist, or you could raise that hand and just open up here through the side body. You're feeling a little bit of a stretch in your left inner thigh as well. Just a nice little hip opener, little change up. And then we'll go ahead and release that down. Coming back to center, tuck your toes, lift your knee. And there's your low lunge. Little space across your hip flexor. And we'll drop that back heel, rising up slowly into warrior one. Find a joyful breath here. A breath that softens all the edges. You can cactus your arms, interlace your hands, and press. A joyful breath that enlivens all of the cells of our body, taking away any tension, any stress, any strain or pain. And what's left is just ease in the body. Take one more deep breath here as your arms release around and down to the earth. Come into downward facing dog and stay or flow, your choice. And let your feet come to your hands. Press to a long back half lift. And as you deepen your forward fold, take your feet about 2/5 apart. So about 8 inches apart, and then grab your big toes with your peace fingers. And bend your elbows so you can pull yourself down into a deeper stretch. Bend your knees as much as you need to relieve any pain in your low back. You want the back more long and less rounded. And then release your fingertips to the floor in front of you. 10 fingertips on the floor. Come up onto your toes and put a bend in your knees. So for some of you, you're going to stop right here. For some, you might come all the way down to your heels. We're going to do that a couple times. Again, more working through the feet. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees as much as your knees will allow. And drop back down. Head comes up as the hips drop down and vice versa. Let's move back one more time into downward facing dog, where again you have the option to stay or flow. Let's raise the right leg high. Stepping that foot through, we'll drop the back knee again. Pat up the knee if you like. And this time, bring your hand to the inside of that right knee and press that knee out away from you. So looking up from this side. So just press that knee away. Your left hand is on the floor, right hand is on the inside of your right knee, and push the knee away from you. So you're kind of coming to the outside of your right foot. You should feel that maybe around the outer side of the right hip, the front of the left hip. Good. And we'll come back to center, tucking the back toes. Drop the heel, come up to warrior one. And then reach your arms behind you, interlace for humble warrior. Chest expands, right knee stays bent. Dive into the inside of that right leg. Head down, knuckles high. Breathe in and breathe out. 3, 3, 4. Notice body, notice breath. Bringing fingertips to the floor. Come onto your back toes. Find your balance. Lift up one breath. High lunge. Go back as far as your back will allow, stretching that left hip flexor. Hook your thumbs if you like, and just really put length in the whole front of the body. Breathe in joy, space, ease. And then release down. Downward facing dog, child's pose, or vinyasa. Your choice. Whenever you are ready, you'll just raise your left leg and step that foot through, dropping the back knee. And we'll bring our right hand to the floor and just press open through that left knee. Just let the left foot come onto the outer edge. Chest rolls open toward the left side. Push on that leg and feel some opening there. Happy hips on a Monday. There you go. And then we'll just come back to center. Tucking the back toes. Drop your back heel. Come on up, warrior one. Get your bearings here. Get your foundation. And then humble warrior, arms behind. Interlace and dive in. As soon as you come into your humble warrior, 3, 3, 4 breath. Really slow down the breath, especially the exhale. Releasing fingers to the floor, tucking the back toes. So we're going to need some balance here. You can use your front leg to help you rise up, high lunge, hooking the awkward thumb and coming into this nice front body opening. Joy, space, ease. As we release our hands to the earth, we'll go back one final time into down dog. Here's your last option for vinyasa. If you'd rather, you can come right into child's pose. We're making our way down to the floor. We're going to allow our right knee to come toward our right wrist. So I'd like you to keep the foot as under you as you can. So it's like pigeon, but we're going to lay right down on that leg like a little belly massage. If your knee doesn't like to be bent that much, a nice option is to sit and squeeze your knee into your chest. That might feel a little better if your knee doesn't like the body weight on it. But here with that leg on your belly, you can kind of move around a little bit. This is a good pose for digestion. Just massaging the belly. Coming back up to our hands, shift your weight to that right hip and then bring that shin bone out in front of you. So it's going to again be like pigeon, except I'm sitting way over on this hip. And I'm going to bend my back knee. So the knees are like this 90-degree thing. Just reach over the front leg. You can walk your left hand a little farther than your right. This is a very knee-friendly pigeon. Same idea, stretching around the hip and into the back without the strain on the knee. 3, 3, 4 breaths. And coming up from there, I'm just going to switch the legs. So you're going to be kind of facing the back of your mat and you're sitting on your left hip, kind of leaning into your left hand, and both of your knees are bent about 90 degrees. And then just reach over that left leg. Just reach your right arm forward over your left leg. You might be able to come down to elbows. But if you can reach that right arm farther, you're going to feel something really nice in the right side of your body and your left hip. 3, 3, 4 breaths. In 3, hold 3, out 4. Use your hand to help you come back into the center. Let's draw both knees in, and we're going to make our way down onto our back. Back where we started, knees to chest. Give yourself a hug, move around. And let's come into a twist here. So I like to shift my hips over to the right before I drop my knees to the left. Right leg stacked on left, and then just open your arms out into a T. If you notice that your right shoulder is lifting, instead of that, press your shoulder down, lift your right knee. So it's more important that we have our shoulders on the ground than our both legs. Just finding your twist. Good. Beautiful. Knees are going to the left, head is turning to the right. And then slowly shift that. Bring your knees to the right and turn your head to the left. Find that twist on the second side. Again, more important to have shoulders on the ground than that top knee. So let your top knee lift a little if it wants to. Your head can turn to the left. 3, 3, 4 breaths. And we'll come back into the center. Draw your knees into your chest, and we'll do one final asana before our final rest pose. Bring your legs up in the air, legs up the wall, or if you put your hands under your hips, you'll come into waterfall, tailbone a little bit off the floor. And just find a moment of stillness here. This is a pose like sand dropping through the hourglass. Nowhere to go, no rush, just a gentle reverse of the flow of energy. Breathe in, breathe out. And now let's change our breathing to 3 counts in, 4 counts out. We'll stop doing the hold. So breathe in for 3 and breathe out 4. Putting a bend in your knees and starting to find our way into Shavasana. So gathering any props, cushions, pillows that you'd like. And as you come into final rest, let your feet come to the outer edges of your mat. So feet are a little bit wider. Arms are a little bit wider. Take a second to just move your head from side to side. Three count in breath, 4 count out breath. Take another 3-count breath in and 4-count breath out. Hopefully hearing the sound of the waves remind you to breathe like the ocean, constant, steady, predictable. When you're ready, begin to move your body gently by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Give your arms a luxurious stretch overhead. Make your body long like you're yawning, you're just waking up to the day. And start to make your way to one side and back to a seat. And allow your palms to turn up, just on your lap, just sitting here on your lap. And I'd like to ask you to just bring to mind someone in your life that you would like to extend joyfulness toward. Swami Shantideva says, all the suffering in the world comes from seeking pleasure for oneself. All the happiness in the world comes from seeking pleasure for others. So as we come to the end of this practice, let's bring our hands together at heart center. I offer this practice as a little package of joy for you. So I don't take all of this island beauty for myself. I wanted to share it with you. But I also want to say that I have the really good fortune of having a best friend named Julie Bush, who this whole time I've been here has been a little bit jealous, but mostly happy for me. And I think that points to why she's such a happy person. She truly celebrates the joy and the good fortune of others. So Julie, thank you for being the yogi in my life and teaching me that. May you all have so much joy and pleasure and ease and space today and every day. Namaste.